sleeve the folder here, and we'll, the junior choir is not sung. Those are old folders from quite a few years ago.
You know, got one. Huh? U.S. Open. The American one. Oh. She won. Oh. The U.S. Open. Cool. Good. Yeah, she was losing when I left. So.
Cool.
I just said as soon as services start, they go home. I'm like, what's happening? It's very interesting.
Erev Tov, everyone. Good evening. Hi. So I am still in this silly ankle brace sneaker situation, which is just sort of causing me to lean in to be a little bit more comfortable in what I'm wearing. So I just invite you to take a breath and be comfortable however you are, because you can. I don't know, why not, right? So we begin tonight with Havdalah. You know what, Abby? Let's have all of our Barnard kids on the bima. Why not? And also Jacob's friend, whose name I don't know, but you can come up. Why not? What is it? Davy. Cool. You're here. You guys can help. I'm not going to make you say anything. Just come here and hang out and do things. Sarah, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's up to you. Come. She's up. Yeah, okay. Once a Barnard kid, always a Barnard kid. Even though in the eyes of the Jewish community, she is no longer a child. Oh, all right, I know. It's not only your mother who embarrasses you places. So this ritual is called Havdalah, and there really is no sweeter way to do it than with children, and us, but also children. In Hebrew, the word Havdalah means separation, and we offer these blessings, we use these symbols to help us separate from every week, from the end of Shabbat to the rest of the week, to sort of make this distinction from sacred to ordinary. And this week is similar in that way, of course. Tonight ends Shabbat and we head into a week. It happens to be the last week of 5783. And the service that we're going to this observance tonight, maybe service is a long, big word for what we're going to do. It's called Selichot, and it is the way that we sort of really head into these last days of Rosh Hashanah. We're going to change our Torah covers at the end. We're going to use music and liturgy and poetry to help us really, get ready if we maybe have had a hard time slowing down for long enough to do that on our own, which I say with no judgment and total love. So using all of our senses, taste and smell and sight and sound as we put the candle out. I really hope this doesn't set off a smoke alarm. We are going to bid farewell to this Shabbat and get ready for the week that is to come. The words are on page 100, I think.
100, yes.
100, they begin. Not in that book, Marty. It's the little gold book. The gold book has, that was outside. If you don't have one, they are there. We're really using this book lightly tonight. So if you know Havdalah and you don't need the words, then you're good. We are on page 100. The words of the blessings repeat. There's a lot of lies. You'll get it. Baruch No.
Oh, you didn't dip it yet.
Jacob.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to laugh.
No. Why? Wait, I want to know what that tradition is. Why do we laugh?
But I just made you laugh.
But why?
At Crane Lake, you do that. Because
Okay, so we can hear about camp traditions after, but right now let's not make the sound fake. Everyone's going to be quiet, because this is supposed to be the last one we get to hear, and we'll talk about camp traditions at the cookies after.
I thought you were supposed to.
Well, I bet there is a reason that ISER does it. Maybe it's about bringing joy into the week. We could work with that, but right now we're just going to, listen, okay? Hamavdil ben kodesh lecho, Hamavdil ben kodesh lecho, Chatoteinu imcho, Zareinu v'chaspenu yarbekacho, v'kacho chavim balayla, Eliyahu hanavi. So 4 of our young people currently go to one of our URJ camps. We got other people represented in the room whose kids go or went there too. And really it is cool because even only a few miles from each other, all of these Jewish rituals at each of the camps develop their own individual minhagim, their own customs and special ways of celebrating things. And I would love to know where the laughter at the end of Havdalah comes from, because I have to imagine it comes from this idea of bringing joy into the new week, and this idea of creating the sounds that we're supposed to hear, even when maybe we aren't in a place where we can hear the candle sizzle, right? All the ways that, right, that we sort of take the meaning of the rituals and adapt them into the way that we live. So if you want to hear more about camp rituals after the service, and we've changed our covers, there's a whole bunch of people on this bima who would be very happy to tell you about them. Now you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, and you can go sit. Okay, so I'm going to just sort of introduce our program this evening, what we're doing. And as I mentioned, this service this evening is called Selichot, and in many traditional communities it happens much later in the evening than ours is tonight, but we are really not a stay up until midnight kind of, well, I am not a stay up all night kind of person. So we offer, every year we try to change a little bit, sort of the middle part of what we do on this last Saturday night before Rosh Hashanah. We always start with Havdalah, and we always end with changing the Torah covers, right? But what we do in the middle is all meant to help us get ready. So as we have been, over the last couple of years, preparing for the holidays, we always find arrangements and music that we wish we could incorporate in our services, but we can't, because it would be too long, or we already have a version of that we like, or we just don't do it that way here. So we've been sort of saving pieces of music for this program that we're offering tonight, which we've called Music from the Cutting Room Floor. And the way the evening is structured is that we are going to sort of follow the liturgical pieces we've chosen in the order that we would encounter them were it to be the holidays, right? So we're going to start with liturgy from Elul, which is the month we're in right now, and then move into a few pieces that would be traditionally found, or music, during a Rosh Hashanah service. We're going to sort of follow the calendar to the Shabbat in between, to Shabbat Tshuva, and then head our way into Yom Kippur. just to get a taste of what's coming, right? This is all about our preparation. This is all about how this evening helps us get ready for the days that are coming. And there happens to be beautiful music. Along the way, we are going to read some poetry from this book. That's really all you have it for. So if you are an auditory participator, then you don't need the book, really. You can just listen. If you would prefer to read along with me, then I would always welcome that. So we are going to begin, and we're going to jump around, but we're beginning on 105 together. So if you are a joiner, please join. If you are a listener, please listen. Last sliver of the moon, the waning crescent, small and slender, glowing in the east, at the end of the journey, a curve of silver barely there that fades away with the dawn. Faintest light the eye can discern, like the soul within me barely there, waning and weary as the year winds down. At the end of the journey, the old moon flickers out and darkness awaits the new. Now in the stillness, we can feel it being born. Remind us, the horizon will be bright again. The waxing crescent will rise, heal our hearts, gather us in from the darkness, restore the light within us. This piece of liturgy is traditionally sung every day during the month of Elul. It is Psalm 27, and the Hebrew invites us to think about the one question we might ask of God, Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai.
Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai. Achat sha'alti ota vakesh. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai. Achat sha'alti ata vakesh. Shivti, shivti, bevet Adonai. Shivti, shivti, kol yemei chayai. Shivti, shivti, me'evet Adonai. Shivti, shivti, kol yemei chayai. Benoam Adonai. Benoam Adonai, to gaze upon the beauty of Adonai.
One thing I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life.
Shivti, shivti, me'evet Adonai. Shivti, shivti, kol yemei chayai.
As we are preparing for the holidays and beginning with Marina and Janet and Rachel and Beth, we're constantly reminded of how filled with gifts this place is, and how lucky we are, and how much beautiful music we are going to be able to share together in these holy days that are awaiting us. We are on page 109. Imagine as we head into this part of our music and our prayer, which is anchored in Rosh Hashanah liturgy, imagine that it is next week, right? Maybe it's next Friday night in this case, or Saturday morning, and we have arrived at our services for Rosh Hashanah. Page 109 if you're reading, if you're listening, whatever you're doing, coming up on September. White butterflies with single black fingerprint eyes on their wings dart and settle, eddy and mate over the green tangle of vines in Labor Day morning steam. The year grinds into ripeness and rot, grapes darkening, pears yellowing, in the first Virginia creeper twinning crimson, the grasses dry straw to burn. The new year rises, beckoning across the umbrellas on the sand. I begin to reconsider my life. What is the yield of my impatience? What is the fruit of my resolve? I turn from my frantic white dance over the jungle of productivity, and slowly a nigun slides, cold water down my throat. I rest a leaf, spotted red. Now is the time to let the mind search backwards, like the raven loosed to see what can feed us. Now the time to cast the mind forward, to chart an aerial map of the months. The new year is a great door that stands across the evening, and Yom Kippur is the second door. Between them are song and silence, stone and clay pot to be filled from within myself. I will find there both ripeness and rot, what I have done and undone, what I must let go with the waning days, and what I must take in. With the last tomatoes, we harvest the fruit of our lives.
May this be a year of love and kindness. May strangers come to be friends. May truth and compassion always find us. Amen. May this be a year of hope and healing for all of those in need. May all of our deeds be a blessing. Amen. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. A new year, a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer. Amen. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. A new year, a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer, closer to the ones we love, a world that we can be proud of, long as there are stars above. There comes a new year. Amen.
The middle of page 61. To shape the world anew. The sea pushes back off the shore, yielding to gravity with a sigh, not a leaving, but a letting go, a retreat into its own deep fullness. The sun relinquishes its hold on the sky only to rise once more at daybreak as the tide rolls back in, a different kind of letting go, an unspooling across the expanse. And we creatures of earth are granted a fresh start, a chance to gather the debris and shape the world anew. Wholeness is a kind of holiness, the stasis of perfection. But brokenness demands recreation, a turning cycle of endings and beginnings, the act of pulling hope and brightness from the wreckage, taking the jagged shards and making of them, if not wholeness, a new sort of sacred splendor. The liturgy that this next piece is from, Hayom Harat Olam, refers to sort of one of the many names of Rosh Hashanah in our tradition, this idea that this is the day that the earth, the world, was birthed, was brought into existence.
Hayom Harat Olam, Hayom Yamid Bamishpat, Kol Yetzurei Olamim, Im Kevanim, Im Kavadim, Im Kevadim Rachamenu, Kerachem al Abanim, Ve'im Kavadim Einenu, Lecha Teluyot, Ad Shetechanenu V'totzicha or Mishpateinu Ayom Kadosh, Im Kevadim Rachamenu, Kerachem av Albanim, Ve'im Kavadim Einenu, Lecha Teluyot, Ad Shetachanenu V'totzicha or Mishpateinu Ayom Kadosh.
Jacob, this isn't really the part you were planning for, but could we have a shofar blast? You're going to stand right here. So during Rosh Hashanah services, we have 3 parts of a shofar service. And if you grew up in maybe a more traditionally observant community, or even the Reform community I grew up in, you grew up singing Areshet Sifatenu at the end of each shofar service. For a lot of reasons, we don't do that liturgy here at Barnard, but we're going to offer one arrangement of Areshet today, and it usually follows a shofar blast. So as we sort of walk our way through these holy days, how about we maybe just all give a tikiyah call. Wait, we're going to call, and then you're going to tikiyah, okay?
Do you want a microphone for him?
I think Jen asks me this question, like, do you want a microphone for him? I think she wants me to have a microphone for him. I know, but there's too many microphones here.
You want me to do it?
So imagine heading out of Rosh Hashanah, we're at the new year, and we meet this Shabbat that's called Shabbat Shuvah. It's right in the middle of these 10 days. And it is this sort of midpoint, this reflection point, and thinking about what's been new and what's coming, and maybe we haven't yet done the work that we're supposed to do before Yom Kippur. It's like all these ways along the way that our tradition is trying to help make sure we don't get to Yom Kippur without having done the work that we're supposed to have done before we get to Yom Kippur. In case you missed Elul, there's Selichot. In case you missed Selichot, there's going to be Shabbat Shuvah, but we don't need to wait for that. But if you turn to page 104 in your book, which is the Hebrew in the words that you're going to hear in a moment, I wonder always, this is one of my favorite lines of liturgy, actually. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva chadesh yamenu kekedem. In English, it says, take us back, Adonai. It's like return us to you, Adonai, and we will return. Make new our days like they were before, if we're looking at the words more literally. I just wonder, what strikes you about this English or Hebrew, however it is. We're not in the blue book, Jane, we're in a gold book, so that's not going to help you at all. It's all good. So what jumps out to you about this language, and whatever language you read it in? Anything jump at you about what these words, what they mean to you or what they might mean to you, Liz?
Plural. A lot of these are plural.
Yeah.
The fact that it's always plural, even if you're reading by yourself.
Great. So even if it's just us, we're still speaking in the we, right? Beautiful. Okay, well, I'll tell you a couple of things that I love about this line of liturgy, which, by the way, we sing every time we sort of hang out with the Torah in the Torah liturgy. I love that this line of liturgy has references to or inclusion of past, present, and future, which is somehow like what Judaism all is the way that we're connected to the days that they were, the days Yamenu Kekedem, like they were in the days before, and this permission, this openness that we will return, that our days will be renewed in that way, that there's some element of all the different times in which we've lived. And I always wonder why we ask, especially this time of year, for what does it mean to ask that our days are renewed like they were before, in a time of year where we're trying to figure out how to be better than when we were before, right? So there's a lot of ways to answer that question. I'm not going to try tonight. But I will invite you to think about maybe what are the good things you're taking about from these days that are about to be the ones that were before, right? What are some of the blessings from this year that you are taking with you into the new year?
Hashivenu Adonai elecha strength to begin again, and guide us in all that we do. Help us keep faith when we lose our way, till we find our way back to you. Back to you.
Page 119. As we head into the liturgy of Yom Kippur, these few pieces will do. You can come up there. Notice the river at break of dawn, a braid of streams, creeks, and brooks, a dance of insects near the shore. Notice how brackish where the river meets the sea, how with grace the river hugs the shore, fierce in its rising, fiercer when it falls. Notice it all, how it bends, how it tells the time of year, and how smooth the boulders are that guide its course. Notice the Holy One in blessing and in beauty, in acts of repair, in the unearthing of truth, in eyes that meet, in the tumult of change, in words of forgiveness, in the bridges we build to those we hurt, in the flow of a year, in the course of a journey, in rising and falling, in the bend of a river, in the hand we hold out to those who hurt us, in the life we are living, in blessing and in beauty. Page 114. Lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive the darkness in our hearts, our loss of hope. Pardon our distraction, our ears closed to the pleas of the poor, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive us our circles of secrecy, knots of guilt, shame, and anger, webs of betrayal and greed. Pardon the pursuit of happiness that ends in worship of self, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, refuse to forgive our refusal to forgive. Release our grudges, hatreds, and feuds. Puncture our stubborn self-righteousness, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive our vanity in a universe of awe, our complacency in a universe of need. Pardon our failure to thank, praise, and salute every soul and every star, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive us our disregard and insolence, our distance from loved ones and friends. Pardon our daily inattentiveness, our failure to notice that we fail to notice, and lead us to atonement.
Though we all have been hurt, though we all have hurt each other, let us all forgive. Let us all be forgiven. Though we all have caused pain in our words to one another, let us all forgive. Let us all be forgiven. Slach lanu, mehalanu, kaber, kaber lanu. Slach lanu, mehalanu, kaber, kaber lanu. Though we all have regret for the words that we have spoken, let us all forgive. Let us all be forgiven. Let now be the time to repair what has been broken. Let us all forgive. Let us all be forgiven. Slach lanu, mehalanu, kaber, kaber lanu. Slach lanu, mehalanu, kaber, kaber lanu. For the gates are always open. For the gates are always open. For the gates are always open. Though we never can change all the times we've been mistaken, let us all forgive. Let us all be forgiven. Let us try to rebuild all the trust we have forsaken. Let us all forgive. Let us all be forgiven. Slach lanu, mehalanu, kaber, kaber lanu. Slach lanu, mehalanu, kaber, kaber lanu.
So after one more reading, we're gonna change the Torah covers on our Torahs, and I don't know, I feel like a little bit of advanced nostalgia. I don't know, is there a word for that? Like pre-nostalgia? I don't know. This, I think, hopefully is the plan. This is our last time-changing Torah covers in the sanctuary as it is right now, and these are all real milestone markers for us in our Jewish year, right, as we get ready to do some work on this space. And our Torahs, of course, won't change, and their covers won't change either. So there's all these beautiful ways that we'll still be so intimately connected to our space. But just to note that this is a ritual that we've done for every year since we've been here in this space, and soon, the best part of next year, assuming hopefully we're back, which we will in here, is that everybody will be able to come onto the bima, right? So right now, we can't all get onto our bima to change our covers together, so we'll do it down here, which will be just fine. But, sorry to point at you, Marla, but I want Marla to be able to help get to the ark and open the ark and help participate this, right? So these are the moments where this so obvious now why this space is beautiful and it doesn't quite serve our community in the way that we know we need to serve each other right now. So we change our covers, right, into these beautiful white ones from the colored ones that we use during the year. And I know I ask this every year, but just to remind us, why? Why white? Purity. Ezra?
I think like to start fresh.
Start fresh, beautiful. Yeah? What'd you say was the last thing you said?
Blank slate.
A blank slate, beautiful. Right now, are these perfectly white? No? Can you see what's behind here on them? Or, I mean, some of you know. Sorry? I didn't hear. Writing. Any idea from where? You see a music note. That's cool. All right. Well, that's awesome. Love that. So there's a text from Torah that's underneath letters, and the letters you'll see when we have them all together. This is a taf. But the letters will spell out the word ha'emet, right, which means the truth. You know, that we are always sort of searching for and seeking and learning from each other to be in. The word emet, you may remember, has letters that are the first, middle, and last letters of the alphabet, of the Hebrew alphabet, right? Some reminder about our pursuit and seeking of truth, which requires balance and looking in multiple places. And it's not perfectly white, because even though we are going for a new start and some version of purity, which could take or leave, right? That we know that we bring with us, we are not perfect, and that's Torah here, the stuff that's not perfect, right? That's the way that we grow and we help each other grow. So this reading we're going to do together, it's actually one of my favorite readings in this book, and it is on page 121. I think maybe we're supposed to read it after we change the Torah covers, but I always like reading it before. It's called The Elders. We rise now to honor them, our elders from whom we have learned stories and lessons, with whom we have studied and worshiped and celebrated the passages of life and time. Our elders who have taught us goodness, honesty, and the sanctity of life, whose mantles are woven with threads of memory, embroidered with silver and gold, majestic folds of silk and velvet, in royal hues befitting their rank, as brilliant as the sun. We rise now to honor them as they put aside these everyday mantles of splendor and don their sacred garments, the vestments of purity and holiness befitting the days of awe so soon approaching. Each in its turn is fitted with wimple, mantle, and crowns, each more stunning than the last. Majestic folds of velvet and silk to clothe the holy words, a canvas of purest white, as brilliant as the moon. The holy season has now begun, and the elders in their yontif clothes stand proud and tall before us, beacons of wisdom and light, reminders of the holiness we seek on this new day in Elul. So we are going to redress these elders because it is we who give them life and keep them alive. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to invite Rose to come open the ark, because we weren't on the bima yet, because you came in when we did that. We're going to rise in body or in spirit, and we are going to change our Torah covers together. If you've not yet had an opportunity, or not recently, or never had an opportunity to hold a Torah, then I'd love to sort of have you just come over toward me and give you priority to help participate in that ritual. Good job. Hang right there, Rose. And then what we're going to do together is we're going to take off one of the regular covers, the beautiful regular covers, and then we're going to get white ones, and I know which one goes on which one, so I'll help make sure all that happens. While we're doing that, we're not going to chit-chat, right? We're not going to talk. There's going to be some lovely music maybe, right? Don't we do that? Yeah. Or we're going to be quiet. We're going to sing, whatever it is that moves you. But the idea is that we are meant to really focus on this really sacred, really beautiful, ancient tradition of changing Torah covers. So in whatever way you do, please rise. So are you gonna come? You can come. This is an activity. This is a group activity, and I'm gonna bring scrolls down. So we'll do everything on the floor here. So. So they're spread out right now, but our regular yearly cover is spelled Pardes. Anybody know what Pardes is, what it means? You do. Some of you do. Some of you do. It's like a garden. It's like the Garden of Eden. It's like paradise, right? It sounds like paradise. Also is one of the acronyms for the way that we study Torah. Pshat, Remez, Drash, and Sod. Sod and Drash. Drash and Sod. Spell it out in my head, right? As we go from the sort of simple level to the clues, to the sort of the teaching, and then the secrets, right? The way that we engage in all these different levels of study of Torah. And we change now with these sort of everyday invitations to study, to really focus during these holy days on this pursuit of truth. So this is the part that gets a little trickier. Who has got, I should have remembered who I gave everything to. Oh, I'll go backwards. Hang on to that, please. Thank you. Good. All right, if you are holding a Torah, why don't you come up onto the bima? If you've got a Torah, I do want you in order. I'll move you. Alex, you're good here. Oh, Alex, come right there. I know, you can spell them. Thank you, Elon. All right, so this says ha-emet, or together, and these say ha-emet. We're going to put them back in the ark, but just to sort of take a note of the scrolls and the sacred in them and the people who are holding him and the sacred in them, and the ways that just like the Torah covers can't change themselves, right? We can't live with Torah unless we live with Torah, right? It's ours to bring out and to treasure and to hold and to love and to be sad with and to be joyful with, and all the ways that Torah follows us through life and will in this new year. So we're going to put the scrolls away, except for the one Lindsay's holding to start. I'm just going to, actually, we're going to have time at the ark, but I'm aware that not everybody got to hold a Torah scroll tonight. So if you'd like to, I'm going to hang out with Lindsay for a second, and we'll pass this scroll around, I think, because I wish I could have given everybody the Torah. I'm going to stay up here. We're going to do what we normally do, which is the following. And I'm going to invite you to hold the scroll at the ark if you'd like to this year, I think. We have a minhag, a tradition of inviting people just to take a moment or two or three or a half of one alone at the ark as we head into the high holidays, which we bookend with moments to stand at the ark before these very same Torahs during the Elah at the end of Yom Kippur, right? That we start and end the same way. So I'm just going to hang out and be close by in case you would like to hold a Torah scroll while you are at the ark this evening. And again, this is a time for sort of quiet reflection. I know it's like half of a second awkward the first time we sort of make a line and go up, but then it gets better. So take your time, take your moments, grab a buddy if you don't feel like going alone, or go alone and be comfortable in your going aloneness. Just while you're not up there, maybe another invitation to just be quiet, reflective, and you don't have to stay standing the whole time if that's a lot of standing.
We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending
Shemo, Hatov Shimcha, Hatov Shimcha, Ulecha Naeh, Naeh Lehodot. So we're going to offer our first Avinu Malkeinu of the, actually, if standing is not feeling too uncomfortable, I'm going to invite you to remain standing in whatever way that you stand. Because we stand for Avinu Malkeinu, the ark is open, and this is a softer musical arrangement. It's not the big Janowski, because to jump right into that might be a little soul-jarring on this evening. But you'll recognize it. It's not new, and we'll end in our regular folk refrain that we all sing. If you want those words, they're on page 140.
Avinu Malkeinu
Now I'm going to invite you to imagine that it was the end of Ne'ilah. We're in the end of Ne'ilah, the final service of our holidays. We had our last Avinu Malkeinu. We're like tired and hungry, but feeling good for having made it, right, when we're all back here. And in the traditional observance of this holiday, Ne'ilah is actually like a kind of a party, right? It's like at the end, there's like, and if you are in Brooklyn in certain areas, I don't mean the like ultra-Orthodox part of Brooklyn, I mean the part of Brooklyn where Congregation Beth Elohim, which is a very vibrant Reform synagogue, is. There's a lot of gathering that happens in the streets during Ne'ilah at the end of Yom Kippur, and there's this version of the final Kaddish, not the mourner's Kaddish, it's just a general sort of marker in our service. It's the Ne'ilah Kaddish. It happens to be one of Marina's favorite pieces of music. For the high holidays, and it's very joyful. Right? So I want you to imagine that we're tired, but we did it. It's the end of Ne'ilah. We're getting ready to like really greet a new year with energy and love, and that's where we have arrived at this moment. And after this moment, we're going to offer a final shofar blast of Selichot as we head out into the week that awaits us. Hear me. If you're joining us at home, just note that the shofar is about to be blown fairly close to a microphone, so I don't know what that's going to sound like at home, but we want you to hear it. Be warned. So this is this last shofar blast for Selichot. Now remember, it's still Elul until we hit this Friday night. So if you're in the building and you haven't heard the shofar yet this week and you want to knock on my door, I'll be happy to offer you a blast of a shofar, because again, the mitzvah for Elul is to hear the shofar, not necessarily to blow the shofar. But you could also probably knock on Jacob's door. I bet he'd be happy to blow a shofar for you too. A shofar is an alarm clock. It's a wake up. It's meant to help us, to startle us out of complacency, and to help us get ready for being awake to whatever awaits us. Right? So as you hear this last blast of the shofar tonight, perhaps just an invitation to just quietly think about what's the work ahead for the week, and what is it that you want to bring into the year that's about to begin. It doesn't always have to be the stuff that we have messed up, right? What's the good stuff you're taking with you too, right? That's the balance of this time of year. So I think I'm going to invite you to stand if you are standable, and in whatever way you stand, in part because traditionally we would stand when the shofar is blown, and in part because it's sort of our readiness that awakens us. I'm going to blow the shofar too. Is that okay? You'll be in the middle. Tikia. Erev Tov, Shavua Tov.
I couldn't play erection. Oh, I should. You're right.